Good morning, everyone. Chris here. We are still in Fernandina Beach. Where the heck are we? We're right there. Anyway, I decided to come to shore. I've come to this little island because, well, we got our new registration stickers for the dinghy in January, and we were not in a place where we could beach the dinghy and put them on. So we're doing that today. And I don't know if you could tell, my registration letters have come off, and they actually rubbed off about a year and a half, 2 years ago, and I just never bothered to deal with it. And we were in Hampton, Virginia this fall coming south, and there was a cop on the thing, and he was just a jerk. And I figured, you know what? Maybe I should spend the $10 to get new letters. Anyway. So we're doing that now. Oh, look, you can see my orange one. Anyway, let's see how we do. All right, not the best, but it's readable. I think next year I'm gonna spring for the panel that hangs off the side, because these are a pain, and they come off. I still have the other 24 half under there, and I skipped the main on this one because it was still mostly there. Anyway, right. Well, now we're on this little island, and you know what? The tide is coming in. I'm not being crazy here. Hold on. There we go. Now if we're going for a walk, she won't float away. Anyway, let's go see what's down here. The dinghy has been in the water for about 2 months, and you can see a lot of growth on the motor. The bottom paint is doing pretty good, so no growth on the boat itself. So I'm going to scrape the motor later when we walk back to the dinghy, and then head back to the boat. Figure I'd do all this before I showered this morning, and at some point we need a pump out. So procrastinating. The other thing we need to do is fix our black tank sensor, because I think it's jammed up with stuff. So I'm not looking forward to that either. Look at her. All right, we could go back, but it's early. Kids are still resting. Let's go for a dinghy ride, and hope the sun comes out later. I want to go check on some of these boats around the corner in the anchorage, because we're in one of the mooring fields. We've got one of the most interesting catamarans I've seen in a while. It's freaking absolutely wild. Schooner rigged catamaran. It's one of the Warm catamarans. They're all custom. Very cool. All right, now let's go this way. All right, so there are a handful of moorings right over there with those boats, and then there's an anchorage in the middle here, and then there's a few more moorings down there behind that island where we like to go, and then there's town, and then if we keep coming this way, then there's the big anchorage over here. So we're gonna, oh my heavens. Well, that is just absolutely sad. Oh my heavens. Oops. Let's go take a closer look. Oh, that is so sad. What a beautiful boat. Oh my God. So, this was floating and slowly getting closer to shore over the past, over 3 weeks, and the harbor master didn't seize it and tow it to shore, so now it's gone. Well, it could still be rescued and auctioned off, but it won't be. Oh heavens. Wow. Crazy. Anyway, let's go around the corner, see what else we can see. There's town, and then here's the big anchorage, room for a whole lot of boats, and then A lot of people will go up around the corner. There's someone right there. I thought there was someone else. There's someone else up there. Anyway. Let's go around this corner and see. There's 2 more boats over here. All right, well, I guess we're not going to be able to go see close up what I thought, because there's a sailboat right there. And then there's another one. Where is it? Right there. That one's like way up on land. Pretty much vertical. You could live on that as a freaking cottage. Anyway. I think it's time to go back to the boat. I got a little wet here. Pounding into the wind. But yeah, it's a good anchorage most of the time. But I do think that once you get down to Florida and parts of Georgia where you could realistically anchor your boat and just live there and never move, that definitely happens for some people, and the boat deteriorates, or people leave for extended periods of time, and eventually every boat drags. So an unattended boat dragging is definitely not a good thing. All right, let's go back to the boat. Look at that one. That one's like high on the ground. If I didn't know any better, I'd say she was still safely at anchor.